Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartUpTrading.com. It is 8 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, November 20th. So, looking back at yesterday's action real quick, the Russell got back up to the short line basically. Uh, caution with, shorts above. Um, the Nasdaq didn't quite get up to its location, where it was. Uh, where it should have yet so far. The ES traded, it repaired its segments. The Dow was the weakest of the indexes by far. It did not even close into the settlement. It did not even trade through value yesterday, so definitely the weakest link there. So we did leave some poor structure yesterday, so we'll have those markers as well. So getting back below the structure is going to be bearish, holding these lower portions of the single prints would validate the long sequence again on that normal pullback that we've had so far. We also have some splits on the distribution. We'll look at that more in a second. So the title of the video is VIX Roll with NVDA after the bell. So in 5 minutes, this VIX expiration rolls off the board, and then we will see. So keep your eye a little bit more than normal on the VIX today as it starts, moving up and down. It should impact the indexes a little bit more, and it should be a little bit more volatile today, which should make the markets a little bit more volatile. But that's only after, you get. It's basically like yelling fire in a crowded theater, right? Everyone's just sitting there watching the movie, nothing's going on, and then one person heads to the door, another person heads to the door, no big deal. People getting drinks, refreshments, whatever. But as soon as you start seeing a little bit of more movement going towards the door, that's the burst that the indexes uh, get their fuel from. So Nvidia after the bell, and I believe that they come between 4 and 4:15. We'll have to see, but you should be flat before the closing bell is the point of all this. We have Target and TJX this morning. I haven't looked at either one of those, but they should already be in the markets at this point in time. Looking at where we are, so yesterday's point of control was 59.30. The 415 point of control did move up a little bit. I didn't think it was worth noting, but it was still lower than 59.40, so not worth the the mention of the shift. So below 59.30 should get you a little bit of a deeper retracement today. Holding above 59.30 without even touching it today would be very bullish. Right now we're about 15 points above there, so I think we should get at least a check down within a few points to it, like the 59.33, 59.32 at the minimum, and then we'll have to see if you get a response before the point of control, because that's where your liquidity is from yesterday, is at these points of control. That's why we track them. So they're kind of like hidden liquidity. So as you look at, and they're not obvious because they're not highs or lows or swing points, right? They're not the previous day's high, they're not the previous day's low, they're not swing points. Where the most amount of volume was the previous day. So looking at where we are, so we have our markers now, and I'm gonna leave these in yellow. So trading back below these markers now in the future is gonna be extremely bearish. So you got 2008 half for the Nasdaq. So let's just call it, or I'm sorry, 20,000. So let's mark 20,000 off on the Nasdaq, and that 57.25 on the ES. Keep in mind this is also the last segment of this contract, right? We're on our last monthly expiration of this quarterly contract. That is the Z24 contract. So right now, we've just had our normal pullback. We come back down, we checked back down and held. So we had the Friday, sell off, undercut the low for both of them, in the overnight session and then responded up. So but what I'm watching is, and I'm sure Jack will point this out, we're around the full or getting close to the full retracements at different levels of Fibonacci's now from this. And I want to see now, and this is what I've been watching, is now that we've traded down, right? We've hit where the buyers should be, and we're gonna, start coming back up. I want to see. I think there should be sellers in this sequence on the downside because there is a few days of overhead supply here. It should push us back down for another test of this entry, and then we'll see if we undercut it and then start heading back down to these yellow checkpoints, or if it holds. That's what I'm really watching for the next day or so. And it might be NVIDIA that's the catalyst before we really see, which way that flies. So 21 points for the ES overnight, kind of muted here. We got 59.27 and 59.17. So 50, that 10-point range, I'd rather, we're going to be, either above or below. And then below starts getting into these single prints, which there should be, some consternation with. And then getting below those single prints in the future would be, again, bearish. So as we look at where we are, the only one that really didn't test this XS and A line from Friday's session was the Dow at 43,680. So we'll watch that. And then, so if we look at all the indexes, they're all right around the previous day's high. They've all traded over the previous day's high in the overnight session. They've the ES has some single prints that it could, or the NQ has these single prints that it couldn't quite make it to yesterday at 20,822 to 20,846, with the overnight high being 43 quarters, so not quite. So this is still resistance. So again, getting back up above 20,850 is going to be a little bit more bullish if it can maintain. But I would expect that you're going to get a several retests back down, and I would think that we're going to at least test this 20,709 quarter split at some point today, as we should test these this area that's between, so maybe 59.22 at least for the ES should get tested, I would think, and then we'll have to see if you stay below that POC. Remember, if you can't trade the POC and you start lifting up, that is the most bullish that you can get. Trading this POC, then you just have to really watch to see these next levels, and it should potentially be a staircase down if that does happen. So you got some markers right in the near field that should help guide your trading today. And it could be just a wait and see, but remember that scenario I laid out with someone yelling fire or a bunch of people leaving the movie theater all at once. You got the VIX expiration. Once that it's going to be monkey see, monkey do. If people start, piling on hedges for a while, I don't know if NVIDIA is enough to make the whole market, grab their shorts or whatever, but it definitely could, move it a percent either way. So I don't think it can be a 2.5% mover either way. Maybe when it reports, but not before it reports. I hope this helps you guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.